Welcome to Tulum!
Dímelo Corillo, what is happening? We recently took a trip to Tulum, Mexico, and man, we had a fantastic time. We went to the beach, we did cenotes. The kids really enjoyed that trip, and I think we learned a few different things. So today I want to give you 10 different tips that might be able to help you on your next trip to Tulum, Mexico. And starting with number one, they recently built, I believe 2 years ago, they built a new international airport there in Tulum. So you don't have to travel to Cancun and then get to Tulum. It's super far, Cancun. You're gonna be waiting in line because everybody goes there. So now you can just go from the airport of Tulum to your stay, whether it's the hotel zone or Airbnb to the city center, and it's gonna take you about 35 to 40 minutes tops. So that is super convenient. And when we were there, I thought that things kind of went pretty speedy. We didn't have to wait in line very long. Tip number two, the infrastructure of Tulum. As far as it is a nice, beautiful place, but for some reason, outside of the hotel zone, which is very expensive hotels, and you're able to access the beach, if you're out and about, you're gonna see tons of trash all over the place on the side of the road. And for some reason, it was like a theme when we were there because we saw like 4 or 5 different toilets on the side of the road. I'm not sure why. It's quite sad, to tell the truth. I don't really care. It's just more sad that a beautiful place like that has so much trash and nobody, the government or nobody does anything to clean up after themselves. Tip number 3, when you go to Tulum, I'm sure you're gonna wanna hang out, have fun, go to the beach, do the cenotes like I said. So one of the things that might be able to help you to do that is do not drink the tap water. You're gonna get sick, so buy either bottled water or a big gallon so that you could brush your teeth as well. Don't even play around with doing the tap water for brushing your teeth. They recommended us not to, so I'm letting you know, don't do it. It is not safe. If you do have ice like in a restaurant or something like that, that is okay. They have like filtered water for that to be able to have the ice. But as far as tap water, buy the water at the restaurant, buy water to brush your teeth and cook. Do not use the tap. Tip number 4, more than likely you're gonna wanna go to the beach. And I do wanna let you know that even though it's public, beaches are not free anymore.
Para los que vengan a Tulum, ya las playas no son gratuitas. Como tal, tienen que pagar 415 pesos por persona. Más si vas a entrar al sitio arqueológico son 100 pesos. Gracias.
Gracias, Pablo.
And that is for everybody. Anybody younger than 16 years old, they don't pay. But as far as adults, they pay. Or you could end up staying in the hotel zone and super expensive, but you're able to access the beach like that. Or if you want to stay outside of the hotel zone, you could do more like day trips, day clubs, and pay for just to access the beach. But more than likely, you're gonna have to also pay for parking. Outside of one of the tricks that one of our drivers told us is a place called The Lek. They're in the hotel zone.
So they've told us if you get to the Lek Tulum, you don't pay for parking, but you do have to consume something. So they'll give you the ticket once you eat, and then you just bring it right here to before you get out, and then they'll let you go. Obviously pay there and then you go.
When we went, the restaurant didn't have the greatest menu. It was more like vegan and vegetarian, so it was kind of hard as far as buying something there because the kids didn't want to eat anything like that. Or if you don't consume, we had bikes at that time when we parked there. You had to pay 100 pesos per bike, but they ended up not charging us since we didn't like what they had, and we ended up leaving quite fast. So tip number 5, more than likely, depending on the month that you go to the beach in Tulum, you're gonna have some sargass.
The only bad thing about this beach is all this seaweed right here, but it just continues to get washed from the ocean into the sand. But once you leave out of here, obviously it's a beautiful beach.
And for some reason that is in a lot of the beaches. We went to Santa Fe and he had sargass, and also even on the hotel zone, not as much, but you could still see this sargass on the sand just being washed up by the water. So just be aware of that. You might have to step over the sargass to be able to go into the water. Tip number 6, and that is transportation. How do you get around? How are you going to be able to go from point A to point B? Well, there's a few different options, and one of them is not Uber. Uber does not work. They've made something to do like it's illegal. The taxis do not like that. So there's no Uber there in Tulum. There is taxis. I do recommend staying away from the taxis just because they're extremely expensive. 5 to 10 minutes is going to cost you $20, $30, $40. And obviously the farther you go, the more they're going to charge you. And for some reason, it's not as safe. So I do recommend other options like a colectivo. And a colectivo is what it is. It's just like a little minivan, a little bit bigger than a minivan.
All right, guys, finally found an empty one, and they are charging us 30 pesos per person.
And you go in and you tell them where you want to go, and they'll drop you off there. In some places, not necessarily when we went there to Tulum, but in some other places that we've been to, they have to wait for the bus to get filled up before they leave. But you could either follow where you're going on like a GPS and just tell them, hey, I'm looking to go to Playa del Carmen or whatever, and they'll drop you off either pretty close or there, or to the place that you want to go. So that is colectivos. You could also rent 4-wheelers. They are legal there in Tulum. Pretty fun, actually. There's a lot of people on 4-wheelers. You could also rent scooters, which that's the route we went with. Pretty fun. They actually go pretty fast. You can use them on the freeway. And as long as you have a helmet, you're fine. You won't have any problems. And then you could have, if you have kids, you could have them either on your back or in the front. We felt more safe when the kids were in the front, especially at night. You could also rent bicycles, or you could walk. I did see a lot of people walking. We walked as well. The first night that we were there, a lot of people on bikes as well, pedal bikes. Just keep in mind that if you are looking to go to the hotel zone, and if you stay away from the hotel zone, like in the city center, it's gonna be at least 40 to 45 minutes on a scooter, or I guess on a car. So if you go walking or on a bicycle, it's gonna take quite a bit of time. Tip number 7. For some reason, this happened to us 3 to 4 different times while we were there in Tulum, and it's when we went to pay for different things, services, they round up. It happened to us at the gas station twice. It happened to us at 7-Eleven and at the Super Acai, at the supermarket when we were buying food.
942.
And it was like 42.73, and they ended up rounding up to the nearest peso, which ended up being 43 pesos. So I don't know why they do that. I'm guessing it's because they don't want to give you change, but do keep an eye when you go and you pay, and also count the money when you're giving them, because one of the things is that they do, and it happened once, is when you give them the money, they'll give you some change back, and it's like, oh, you only gave me 100 pesos and I gave them 200, and now it's your word against theirs. So make sure you're always on the lookout when you're paying, and also how much you give them as well. Tip number 8. Obviously, Tulum is extremely pricey, and if you're coming from America, more than likely they're gonna be able to tell, and they're gonna jack up the prices. So what you do is you have to be able to negotiate the price, and they'll start really high, and then as long as you continue to negotiate and stuff like that, and it's part of their culture, Don't be afraid to do it. They're okay with you doing it. And then if they don't like the price and you don't like the price, then don't buy it. You can go somewhere else. You know, a lot of the stores have the same thing, just different prices. Tip number 9. Obviously, like I said, Tulum is pretty expensive, but we did a few different things to be able to save money as far as to stay in budget. And one of the first things we did, we decided to opt out from staying in the hotel zone because it's extremely expensive. So we ended up staying in the city center, which was about 40 minutes from the hotel zone. And if you want to go like on a bike or colectivo, they'll drop you off there. Or you could just use your bike and you could go there, which was pretty fun to be able to explore the town as well. We also, staying in an Airbnb allowed us also to go to the supermarket.
All right, guys, we made it to Super aquí. We're gonna do some groceries
And cook our food for at least one meal, and also have snacks for the kids when we go to the beach or when we go to cenotes. So we were not buying 3 meals every time we go out, different restaurants and stuff like that. The other thing is try the street food. The street food is super fantastic. It's super yummy. And if you are like us, we like to be integrated with the culture. We want to be within. It makes it more of a better experience for us. So we tried the street food, was super awesome, and that will also help you save money instead of only buying at different restaurants, which can tend to be expensive. Also come with cash instead of, I mean, you could use credit cards in some places, but not all of them accept that, especially if you're buying from like a mom and pop shop. So they're gonna want cash. And what we did is we ended up changing cash from here, from the United States. So when we went over there, we didn't have to go change, and they give us different rates and stuff like that. It was already done. And we had our cash. We also had our debit card. So if we wanted to buy something and put it on the debit card, we could do that as well in some places. Just know that in a lot of the times, they're gonna charge you 5 to 7% extra, like a surge charge on top of your bill. It's better to use cash because you'll save money that way instead of using the card and then also paying an extra 5 to 7%. And then tip number 10 is, how safe is Tulum? Well, we felt pretty darn safe. And actually, while we were eating and walking, we walked at night, we walked in the daytime, but while we were eating and also walking, we saw tons of different military people on big, massive trucks, heavy guns, and we felt pretty safe. But we're also not party people. We follow the rules. We go there, have fun, and super night, we're gonna be in our apartment or Airbnb because we don't like the nightlife as far as staying out very late and stuff like that, especially traveling with young kids. So we didn't have any problems whatsoever. So outside of, make sure you're always on the lookout, you can't be careless either, but we felt pretty safe. And then one bonus tip is, if you speak even just a little bit of Spanish, that can go a long way, especially when you get into the colectivos or you're buying stuff from mom and pop shop, to be able to negotiate. That will help you quite a bit. So that is 10 tips that might be able to help you on your next trip to Tulum, Mexico. And with that, I will say bye for now, and I will see you in the next adventure.